That's how you bounce back, baby. Consistency.
Every time they made a run, we answered. We stepped up to the challenge. Our defense, we were in there. We self-corrected when we needed to. All right, we communicated on the floor, multiple levels of effort. We were connected on both ends of the floor.
All eyes were on the Indiana Fever as they returned to Gainbridge Fieldhouse to face the Atlanta Dream, fresh off 2 brutal losses to teams they should have beaten. Doubts were everywhere. Was this team about to unravel? Caitlin Clark had just returned to full strength. Rumors swirled about heated exchanges with coach Stephanie White, and the sting from Brittney Griner's nasty comments in their last matchup still hung in the air. But what happened next wasn't just a win. It was a statement. The Fever didn't just beat the Dream, they demolished them. 99-82, in a performance that reminded everyone why this squad is built to chase a championship. If you felt that fire, drop a "I've got the Fever" in the comments. Let's go.
Man, I think that everyone saw that we kind of got some flow when Kate was hurt and our offense was clicking. But now we have to have a new offense when she's in there because she just brings that much to the game. And so we have to adjust. And I think all of us just want it now. We know what the potential of this team can be, but we can't think about that. You really have to take day to day and stuff that worked here, we need to carry it over to tomorrow's game. We have a lot of games coming up and I think like 7 days or whatnot. And so it's mentally making sure that we're good. It's physically making sure we're getting recovery, making sure we're taking care of our bodies off the court. But we're trying to figure it out. And I think you guys see it. I think we're all a little frustrated.
Picture this. After back-to-back losses to teams they were expected to beat, fans started to wonder, was the Indiana Fever falling apart? The defeats to the Golden State Valkyries and LA Sparks weren't just disappointing, they were red flags. That something deeper was wrong with the roster. It all started when Damaris Dantas took time off to play for the Brazilian national team. Suddenly, the entire lineup was thrown into disarray. Players who had found their rhythm were being shuffled. You could see it on the court night after night.
Kind of alluded to it earlier, but how difficult has it? Does it feel like you guys have had to toggle back and forth between identities with like Caitlin out, Caitlin's back, Caitlin out now, back and forth sort of thing?
Yeah, and it's no one's fault. I mean, no one wants to see anyone injured, right? And it's when she is playing with us, we play a different style of basketball, and it's almost like 2 different teams, right? When she's with us, you play a different style. When she's hurt, which hopefully she's done being hurt, Lord, please hear us. And then we play a whole nother different style. But I do think that once we catch rhythm with her in, we're going to be really, really good. But we can't just keep saying it. You got to put your money where your mouth is.
Coach Stephanie White envisioned a controlled, slow-paced style of basketball, focused on grinding out possessions and dictating tempo. But Caitlin Clark had other ideas. She was pushing for a faster, more dynamic offense that played to her strengths: quick decision-making, elite court vision, and sharp passing. This wasn't just a difference in style, it was a major philosophical divide. The result? The Indiana Fever looked like 2 different teams depending on whether Clark was running the floor. In the games they should have won, that disconnect was glaring. Confusion crept in. Roles became unclear. Players were second-guessing their positioning, and the crisp ball movement that once defined the team had completely vanished. To make matters worse, Clark hit a shooting slump, just 28.9% from the field and a rough 11.4% from beyond the arc over a 5-game stretch. Tensions rose. Behind the scenes, whispers of heated clashes between Clark and Coach White began to surface. These weren't quiet sideline chats, they were loud. Intense debates about player roles and offensive strategy, heard clearly across the gym. The pressure was mounting by the day, and everyone knew something had to break before the entire season did.
They're a great team, the Valkyries, but it's not to our standard, and so we need to. We're running out of time, to be honest, and I think that it's going to light a fire under our butts, and so hopefully you'll see kind of that energy shift tomorrow.
What happened next during that Atlanta Dream game would either make or break this team's entire season. The stage was set for either a complete meltdown or the kind of breakthrough performance that champions are made of. This wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was about whether the Fever could overcome their internal struggles and show the world what they're really capable of.
We're trying to figure out what's clicking, what's not clicking, what works for us defensively. But at the end of the day, I think what we can hang our hat on is not getting outworked, making sure that we're the aggressors, making sure that we're getting boards, controlling what we can control. And I think we need to do a better job at that. And if we can do that, I think stuff offensively will open up for us.
The entire season for the Fever hinged on what would unfold in that game against the Atlanta Dream. It was a turning point, either a complete collapse or the kind of breakout performance that defines championship-caliber teams at this stage. It wasn't just about basketball anymore. The real question was whether the Fever could overcome their internal struggles and finally show the world what they were truly capable of.
There were people at the game that have told me that this happened and they saw it. So, Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White were having a heated discussion at halftime.
You won't believe what happened behind closed doors during halftime. In the Fever's locker room, an intense and unexpected exchange took place between Coach Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark, one never meant for outside ears. The first half, against Atlanta, had been anything but smooth. Frustration was mounting on both ends of the court, and the team looked disjointed, plagued by the same issues that had led to past blowout losses.
Word in the street is Caitlin Clark told White to sit Kelsey Mitchell and Howard because they don't pass. Could be true. Caitlin went to tie her shoe. Like, that is something that I noticed. Like, Caitlin literally, when Natasha Howard had the ball, she didn't even look. She was basically walking back on defense. She essentially walked back on defense every time Natasha Howard had the ball. And by the way, if you guys didn't see Natasha Howard looked off Caitlin Clark to end the third quarter. She looked off Caitlin Clark to end the third quarter in what was just incredibly dumb.
According to team sources, Caitlin Clark didn't hold back during the halftime break. She openly called for changes to the rotation, expressing frustration with certain teammates. Clark reportedly urged Coach Stephanie White to bench Aaliyah, Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell, citing their reluctance to share the ball. This wasn't just a suggestion, it was a direct critique of the team's stagnant offense and the players she believed were disrupting ball movement.
Look, Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White clearly like and respect one another, right? But that doesn't mean they always see eye to eye. And I am beginning to suspect more and more that there's a bit of a divide between the way that they see the game and the way that they think the Indiana Fever should play.
Voices from the coaching area grew louder, so loud that other players in the locker room couldn't help but hear. The tension was unmistakable. This wasn't a routine halftime adjustment. It was a full-blown confrontation that felt like the defining moment of the season. Everyone in that room knew something big was unfolding. The energy was electric, the stakes were clear, and the outcome of that heated exchange would shape the Fever's future.
You can just hear what they have to say and connect the dots a little bit. Not to mention, it didn't go well against the Golden State Valkyries. That was obvious to everybody, of course. Just a rough performance from the Fever. And on its own, that wouldn't be that big a deal. Clark just back, getting her acclimated, all those things. But it's these repeated statements or this issue that seems to be lingering under the surface when it comes to the team's offensive identity that is interesting.
What made this exchange different was that Clark wasn't just complaining. She was stepping up as a leader. She brought clear solutions to the table, pointing out exactly where the offense was breaking down. Unafraid to challenge her coach, Clark called out the flaws with conviction and purpose. In that moment, Stephanie White faced a pivotal choice: stick with her original game plan and hope it turned around, or trust her star player's instincts about what the team truly needed to succeed. The beauty of that moment was in watching two fierce competitors, both determined to win, find a way to align and move forward together.
But we have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing.
Brittney Griner elbowing Caitlin Clark in a crazy way and then calling her a trash white girl.
And Brittney Griner has not commented, which I find significant. I've watched that video countless times, and it sure looks like Brittney Griner says, white girl.
The WNBA should investigate Brittney Griner's seemingly uttering profanities about white girls.